It's Mike Brennan, MITech TV. Matt is out doing some LTU stuff. He will be dropping in the fourth segment, and that's when he's going to be interviewing somebody from the Centropolis Accelerator. Let me get my glasses back on here. Dennis Shaver, he's going to be talking about the Micro Makers Evolution Lab pitch event on June 22nd. But in the meantime, we've got Tamara Shoemaker, who's been on the show many times, and she's going to be updating what's happening with the Cyber Patriot program. And I always like to start off, Tamara, with we always assume folks don't know what our guest is going to be talking about, or even what the program is. So let's start with that. What is the Cyber Patriot program?
So Cyber Patriot is a national program. Actually, it's international now. It's really, really grown since the beginning. It's a national competition, a virtual competition for cybersecurity for middle school and high school kids. The program actually goes all the way back to kindergarten and even some senior citizens programs. But the main focus and the thing that I like to talk about and like to work in is the K through 12, the middle school and the high school competition. And it's a team of 5 kids, up to 6 kids. Go head to head virtually every weekend, or at once a month during from October until April, and they have a cyber challenge that they have to get through. Cisco challenges. They have actually a Microsoft and a Linux box that they have to secure. I kind of liken it to when you open up your box and everything's all, password 1, 2, 3 and all that kind of good stuff, all that nice and easy things. They go in and they harden system. This is all in defense. But of course, to learn defense, you have to learn some of the things that offense is going to come at you at. But this is all done in defense. This is all very making sure that they know just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Ethics is a very important part of this thing. It's very easy to implement in the schools. It's very low cost barrier. It's only $165 for a middle school team and $205 for a high school team. And that actually gets them a whole year of play, because on top of the normal competition weekends, they also have trials where they can practice. And then we also have our summer camps. And so it's a really good program, easy to implement. And it's why in 2015, I started this program in Michigan to make sure that we had more kids in the pipeline for these wonderful cybersecurity jobs.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about also what it can do for kids. Is, they say the adult brain, or the brain doesn't mature until you're 23. So when you get a kid in their single digits, 7, 8, 9 years old, and you get them online, there's a lot of bad people out there that want to suck them in on bad things, right?
Absolutely. And that's the thing that I think why in 2015, why I started. And when people ask all the time, why so young? And why are you getting them involved in this? This stuff is, advanced thought and things like that. And it's really, if anyone pays any attention to these kids, they learn, when they grow up, they learn how to swipe immediately. I've watched pets swipe on a computer to get little like fish and stuff on the thing. There are actual games for our pets now. So if our technology is so easy, it's that much easier for bad guys to get to our kids and to get to our people. And also, I think we really need to bake in the culture of cybersecurity into our IT and our innovation, right? And so we can't do that as a snap-on after kind of thought, right? After we find out that kids can easily, when they go on a game and they're doing a video game and they think that they're playing with Paul, a guy who's their own age, actually is a 35-year-old living in mom's basement. So we want to make sure that they're aware of things. We don't want to scare them. We want to make sure that they do it. We do it in a nice, easy fashion. And cybersecurity or Cyber Patriot has that. So for the K through 5th graders, they have these nice little games that they get to play. And they're just awareness games that say things like, when you're on a game and someone asks you where you live, you don't tell them where you live. If they ask you if you're home alone, you don't tell them those kinds of things. But they do it in a fun, interactive game kind of way so that they learn this awareness piece. And then as we move forward, they start to learn a little bit more about defense. So they have like an asteroids game that you have to learn how to make sure you have your virus protector, because then as the other spacecraft is shooting at you, if you've got your virus protector, it's like a force field, right? And it keeps them away. And so all of those kinds of things help to kind of build that knowledge. So and open their awareness to, and then this is the part that I really enjoy too. is it opens their awareness to that there are jobs in this area, and it's a very varied kind of a thing. And let's find out what you like. And if you like this kind of thing, there's actually a career at the end of the rainbow here. If you just sort of stay in the educational track, that'll take you there. And those are multiple pathways to get there. And that's also why I like this group, because it is low barrier, right? It's not just for the rich and famous. It's not, really, really expensive. It's not, costly, club or anything like that. It's very easy to be involved in. It takes just need a PC and an internet connection, and you can have a team playing. And so these are, all these things are so important for these kids because, they're using them immediately. I've told you before, my grandson's shoulder surfed his grandfather before age 4, because he sat on his lap and played games with him, and he saw what he put in as a password. And so of course he tried to do that later on when he was trying to play something. So we have to be careful right away, and start to get them this information in a lot of different ways, not just parents telling you that, because what kids do when parents are telling you things lots of times, they're going, they're always nagging at me, but if they're playing a little game, or if they're playing a competition against other students, they're getting that knowledge and they're actually doing it hands-on. And I think, that's going to be, it'll stick a little bit better. And again, we just have to keep the messages coming from as many directions as we can so we can keep everybody safe.
Yeah, I remember when my daughter was very young, I'd get her in the summers because she lived with her mother in Seattle when I got divorced. And so I'd get her in the summers. She'd come visit me and use my computer, and then I'd have to clean it off every day because there'd be like 100 different pieces of malware on it, because she'd be surfing the web, going to all these social sites and downloading everything. And so it's a constant battle to keep the bad guys out, right? And
Absolutely,
the bad guys,
absolutely.
some of the best hackers in the world are the bad guys, right?
Well,
That's
and
where all the money is, right?
All that clickbait, all that easy stuff. And again, these kids, they have no idea. Kids, senior citizens, all of us. I mean, unless we're actually in this group, and a lot of times what ends up happening is cybersecurity people talk to cybersecurity people,
Right.
and we just know these things, but not everybody knows these things. And so that's also why Cyber Patriot came up with the Cyber Citizens, kind of the senior citizens program, so that now that we've got this great knowledge and we've got it in the teenagers' hands, they can kind of reach over to their grandparents and say, hey guys, I want to show you a few things that maybe you should be doing with your, internet connection. And our senior citizens are like the most vulnerable for population, because they're alone, they're lonely, they have time on their hands, they're learning this new technology. And like everybody with the kids and the senior citizens, it's new and it's innovative. We want to try everything. They don't realize that there's a lot of bad stuff out there, that they can easily just click something and then bang, somebody owns your computer. And it's like, how did that happen? It was an email from the IRS. I just clicked on the link, and so, and there we have it, right? And so all these vulnerable populations really just need to get the word. And this is a nice, easy way to do that.
So let's recap we're not quite at mid-year, but what's been going on in the past year with Cyber Patriot?
So, so over the last couple of years, it's been a little rough, right, with COVID. And I'm way underselling that. A little rough would be, our teachers have been, in this horrible, they're used to this face-to-face interface with kids and a way of teaching people and all that kind of good stuff. And for the last 2 years, they have had to have learned how to quickly do this 180-degree change and start to teach online and use all of these technologies that they hadn't used before and get the kids to log in when they're supposed to and all that lovely good stuff. So for the last 2 years, things have definitely declined a bit in that space, because this is an after-school program. So just getting them to get the contact hours that they needed for a regular school day has been rough. So nationally and locally, we've taken a hit, right? So nationally, the numbers are usually over 6,000 teams that are playing nationally head to head each year. In these last 2 years, it's been closer to 3,000. And so, it's hit by half. So I feel like it's still a win. We have at least half of them are still playing, that have gone above and beyond. These coaches, these trainers, these teachers have gone above and beyond. These volunteers have gone above and beyond, and or even keeping them engaged after class. But that's a big hit, right? And so we've got that same kind of thing, sort of. Thankfully, it wasn't all the way half. So we were all the way up to 182 teams here in Michigan across the state. And then we're down to about 150 now this last couple of years. And so, I feel like, I wanted to get the word out and let people know that while we've been kind of on the back burner and we've been not pushing real hard, we really want to gear up in the fall to get more people into the game so that we can expose more kids to these great opportunities.
And more sponsors as well, right?
Yeah, so that's the other thing that took a hit. I got to say that I'm not happy to announce that we're not doing some of the normal things that we would do in a year. So I'm doing the summer camps that I normally do across the state, and I'm not able to do a face-to-face award ceremony for our state champs. So we're going to have to go towards a virtual kind of thing. State champs, I'll be sending them their trophies. I'm getting all of their emails now and all of their mailing addresses. So I'm going to get all their trophies for the state winner and send them their trophies for their teams, which is pretty sad in the camps too. So this is the first time in 5 years I haven't had a summer camp. So it's pretty upsetting, but we need supporters. So we need volunteers that are come in and help us. And we've had a really great cadre of those folks, but kind of have wandered off a tiny bit. So we're going to have to kind of, reassemble and get that going. And then the same thing for supporters. So sponsors and things have fallen off. And again, with COVID happening and that being such a big thing, all the dollars went to help those kinds of things and all of our healthcare and stuff. Totally understandable. Now that things are winding down on that spot, I'm hoping, like all other 501(c)(3)s, all charities across the state and the country are hoping that maybe people will be able to come back and start helping us get things back on the ground and get that momentum going again so that we can continue to build. Because the problem isn't going away. Cybersecurity, we're not any more cyber secure, and we don't have enough people in the pipeline. And inspiring these kids is what this is all about.
So I guess certainly we got to encourage both mentors and sponsors. And it seems to me this would be a no-brainer, because if you work with these kids during these formative years, right? Yeah. And then they get up to 12th grade or so, you could put them in internship programs at your place of business, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and then they start to learn some of the culture as well, right? So, and they feel that they'd want to pay back that sort of thing, right? So if you've got them as an intern, you can start to get them in your culture. You can start to see what they're capable of. You can start to help them kind of map that pathway, right? So there's lots of different pathways that students can take, and they totally, whenever I talk to these groups of kids, they're very overwhelmed by all of the possibilities, right? And when we were kids, it was Dr. Lawyer, Indian Chief. You just didn't have as many choices. Now they have so many choices. That's actually a problem, right? And to help them to sort of, problem solve their way through that. And so if you're a volunteer, you're in their classrooms, you're out there, you're a live representative of what our cybersecurity person looks like, and what the pathways are. And you have that nice one-on-one where you can work with them. And so, I can't imagine any corporation saying, no, don't go spend a couple hours a week mentoring these kids, because we don't want more people in cyber. The opposite is true, right? We need as many as we can get up to speed and in all the different varying areas. That's the other thing that's kind of hard too, is right now the message is computer science only, engineering only. And cybersecurity really covers the waterfront. There's really a lot of different jobs, and that message is not getting out. We're hoping to get, we try to get that message out that we need a multiple of different diverse kind of people, but that doesn't always get there. And so we need more people out there beating the ground and putting a little bit of skin in the game, because like you said, it'll pay back, right? Not
to mention, for the students themselves, starting salary is $120,000 a year on up. I mean, we LS&A majors, literature, science, and arts, don't start off at $120,000 a year. So that's a pretty good deal too. We're actually running out of time. We got a little over a minute left. So why don't you talk about how people can reach out to you, website, email, phone number, whatever you want to share.
Sure. So we have a website, and it's Cyber Patriot, MICyberpatriot.com. So you can reach me through there, and or you can. I'm not sure if you'll probably put it out again, but it's Tamara Shoe@gmail.com, and you can get through us there. The actual Cyber Patriot, so if you want to register a team, is uscyberpatriot.org. and we'll put all those out in the chat. I'll drop those in the chat after I get done. I can't multitask as well as I should be able to, but you know, I'm looking forward to getting more people involved. I'm going to start doing a little bit more of the public speaking things again now that we're actually getting together in public, and those kind of things. We'll start spreading the word again and getting, you know, beating the bushes to get people more involved. I am very involved in training in my own my job here at the Auto ISAC as well, and so that's doing really, really well. We have a cooperative agreement with NHTSA that we've been working on, and it's a 2-year one. We're just about to finish up year 1. We're getting through alpha and beta pilots for cybersecurity training for the auto industry. It's been a very wonderful career change, and I'm really enjoying this work. We're right in the middle. In fact, this morning was the beta opening, so that's opening up successfully too. So pretty excited about all the work that we're doing in that space too.